Joya. I wanted to share with you today a little bit about my personal journey coming from a beginner medium to a master medium. I'm at the beginning of my journey, not the very beginning, but I'll explain more about that in just a minute. And I've been thinking about this mastery and the idea that we have to spend 10,000 hours doing something before we master it. So I probably have, I could say maybe 100 hours total invested in mediumship. Probably not even that much, probably about 50. And the first time I experienced a connection with a spirit from the other side. So when I say mediumship, I'm talking about being in communication with somebody who was living here on earth and has now passed over, is now living in the spirit world or in the afterlife, and connecting with that soul to bring messages. The first time this happened for me, it was actually spontaneous. It was 2015. I'm pretty sure it was 2015. And I was doing an Akashic Records session with somebody. So for those of you who don't know the Akashic Records, they are an energetic imprint of all the information about our lives here on earth as humans, all our past lives, all our present lives, and our future lives, and that can be tapped into and read. So I was doing an Akashic Records reading or healing for somebody, and I remember that person's father coming into my body. His soul came into my body. I don't know how to explain it, except it's the closest thing that I could describe to being possessed by something. It felt like my body was his body, and when I was speaking, I felt like it was him who was actually saying what was being said to her. Not for the whole duration of the Akashic Records reading, but for just a part of it. Probably for about 3 minutes really total was when I felt like his soul energy had meshed with my body, and then I was speaking to his daughter. And there was an immense love there, and I can't remember exactly what was said, but it was very healing for that person. And after that Akashic Records session, I went to bed not long after, and I was in bed for probably 12 hours. It really drained me to do this. Now, at the time, I had only been doing the Akashic Records for about 6 months, and so at that point, any kind of Akashic Records readings or healings were draining me pretty good, but not to that extent. And so it took a lot out of me energetically, and I just thought it was interesting because I was not expecting it. And actually, I had been taught by my Akashic Records teacher that human spirits, human souls don't come through in the Akashic Records. So it did happen somehow. And I just thought it was really interesting that the Akashic Records was opening up this other channel for me. So yeah, that was 2015, which is almost 10 years ago at this point. And since then, I have only done a little bit of mediumship. I have taken 3 different online classes with a woman named Susan Schuler. She is based out of Santa Monica, California. I also did an in-person class. It was like a weekend class. At probably maybe Susan's house, or maybe Susan was running it at one of her friends' house. I can't exactly remember who was running it. So I did one weekend in-person class workshop, and that was about how to do group reading, how to do mediumship reading, gallery style, as they call it, like with a group of people. And then I've done, like I said, the 3 online courses with Susan. We do them via Zoom. She does them via Zoom. And each one has lasted 8 weeks. I believe they've all been 8 weeks. The one that I'm currently in now is 8 weeks. And we just completed our 3rd week, our 3rd session. So over the course of these 10 years, I've taken a few classes, and then I have done, outside of that, probably just a few actual mediumship sessions, like sessions where I have sat down with the client with the intention of doing a reading, a connecting with a loved one of theirs who has passed. It's been very interesting. And one of the things that happens with this, and it might be, different with everybody, right? We all have different clairs. So some of us will see things more easily. Some of us will hear things. Some of us will sense things or know things. And one of the things that we do as an evidentiary medium is we get certain information, like how does this spirit relate to the person that is sitting with us? Were they a father, a mother? Which side of the family were they on? Were they which grandmother, grandfather? Sometimes it can be a child, of course. So finding out where in the family tree they are, if they are in the family tree, or if they're a friend, or if they're a friend of the family. So getting the relationship, and then getting personality traits about that person, and tapping into specific memories that spirit who lived as a human and the human that I'm sitting with may have shared. And also getting a message that caters to a need of the human or client that I am sitting with. So what kind of a message needs to come through so that the person that I'm sitting with can feel healing or closure, or just a connection, but with that spirit again. So there's another aspect to it which started happening, and I can't remember if this was something that we were asked to do, or if this just kind of started happening. But the way that the person passed is also a form of evidence that we can present. So if we know how that person was related, personality, characteristics and traits about that person, maybe unique physical features, but physical features do change over time, where the spirits can be represented different physically. So, and also the way that they died. And so doing this, I have come to know, for example, what it feels like to have certain ailments, certain diseases, to even experience certain violences. And I won't get into it because I don't want, this is not the time for that. It's not the space. I don't want to trigger anybody. But I have felt what it's like to die in certain ways or of certain things. And it's not that intense for me, honestly. It's a subtle feeling, just like all of, intuition and psychic things. It comes through more subtly, thankfully, because otherwise I do think it would tire me out like it did during that first time that this happened. So my goal is to become really good at this. I just find it fascinating, first of all. And second of all, it's really helpful for people. And I think that I am able to do it. I've already demonstrated that I am able to do it. And so now it's just a matter of practicing it more, getting better at it, getting more confident, getting more experience, getting that 10,000 hours. And who knows, maybe I can become like Tyler Henry or the Seatbelt Psychic. I'm only halfway joking. I don't want to be either one of those people. And I don't know that I will take this particular modality that far, but I want to see where it goes. And it is something that I want to master. I have other certifications under my belt, and beyond certifications, I've worked with hundreds of people to do EFT tapping, which I'm really good at, the Akashic Records, which I'm also really good at, and I love to do all those things. And so this is, I suppose, the next challenge for me as far as spirit connection. And also, I would love it if you share this journey with me. So maybe you're also interested in learning how to be a medium, either professionally or just as another tool in your toolbox. And maybe my story and my journey as I share it can inspire you, and maybe you can feel a connection in that way, a connection as a group of people who is aspiring to be more connected to the spirit world, to bring the spirit world in more connection with the human world. And I do believe that in these coming years, it's going to be more and more obvious and acceptable to people that this is a real thing, that this is a real phenomenon that really happens, and that it can bring a lot of comfort to people. Just for example, like yoga and meditation, 20 years ago was like a really like kind of a weird fringe thing that people didn't understand or was misunderstood. And now we have a lot of science to back up the benefits of yoga, meditation, mindfulness, and other energy work as well, including the EFT tapping, the Reiki, all of that. So as we progress, I think it's just going to become more normal to have these experiences where we're speaking with different entities, whether it's human spirits who have crossed over or other energetic beings, and to also talk about these experiences, share them, and it's fun. It's meant to be fun, and it's meant to make us feel more connected to each other and less fearful in general about our lives or about like what the afterlife might be, and to just get more of that connection going between us and then between the realms as well. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. If you want to follow me along, of course you can subscribe to this channel. I will be sharing my journey as I go along, as well as some other videos where I'll do some tapping. I'll talk about the Akashic Records, and leave a comment to let me know what you think about this, if it's something that you're interested in learning about or doing yourself, or if you've ever gone to see a medium at all, what that experience was like. And and just maybe also what else you would like to hear on the subject, any questions that you have about the subject. Okay, that's all for now. I'm sending you lots of love, and I hope you have a beautiful day.